Hey guys, I am back again and today we are making homemade bone broth with some chicken feet. So this is part of the ingredients that I decided to add to my bone broth, and I started preparing this by just cutting off the ends or the nails of my chicken feet. Not everyone is a fan of chicken feet, but I am okay with it. I grew up in the Caribbean having chicken foot soup on Saturdays, and I feel like I've always had bone broth because, as I said, I grew up on having soup, and I think this is a form of getting your bone broth. So here I am just washing this with some vinegar water, and I also prepped some hot water along the side because I want to at least have this boil for about 10 minutes before I start the process. So after rinsing and everything, I went ahead and added my chicken feet to have them boil for about 10 minutes. So while everything was boiling, I went ahead and prepped the veggies, and I just did a rough chop because this was going to be boiling for a couple hours, so I didn't need to go ahead and make everything neat and fine. I am chopping some onions, some green onions and celery, along with some carrots. I did also add a little bit more seasoning at the end, and you'll see what I add later on. So at the 10-minute mark, this is what I was left with. So after rinsing off this, I went ahead and transferred everything to my stock pot. And guys, I eventually decided to do this in my Instapot instead of using the stove top. So here you see I'm transferring everything. I also boiled some water, so that's what I'm pouring in. I boiled about 6 cups of water, about 1.5 liters, and then I went ahead and add some more water, which was about 12 cups of water, or 3 liters if you want. And then I went ahead and add in some of these seasonings, so ginger, garlic, bay leaf, thyme, and some peppercorn, along with a bit of vinegar. And I said I decided to do this in my Instapot at the last minute after putting all of this, so I had to transfer it to the Instant Pot. So this is the process, guys. The reason why I just didn't want to have to keep watching the stove for about 3 to 4 hours, so doing it in the Instapot took that away, so it made it much easier for me. So after transferring everything, I set my Instapot to 180 minutes, and this was 3 hours. I think that's all I wanted to do because it was very late. I started this process late in the day. So this was it, guys. It came out really good. After just stirring it a bit, I went ahead and just strained all of this off so I could only have the broth, and then I just stored it overnight. So this was it the next morning, and as you can see, it wasn't gelatinous as I would see a lot of folks would show their homemade bone broth, but I was perfectly fine with how mine came out. So what I did at this point, I just made me a cup. Well, I just reheated a cup of this, and because I wanted a little bit of protein in the morning, I decided to add an egg. So that's it, all I did. I let this boil for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I just transferred it to a bowl, and then I just topped it with some green onions. That was it, guys. This was how I had my bone broth, and it was a very cold and snowy Saturday morning, so this was the perfect way to start my day. So if you guys have not made bone broth, this is an easy way you can do it. As I said, using my Instant Pot made the process much easier. And thank you for watching.